I'm Jess and today I'm doing a tag video, which I don't do very often. You mostly see book reviews from me. But I was tagged by Collie of the Wobbles. I'm not sure if that's how you say your channel name, but that's what I'm saying it as. I will link her channel down below, and this is the 7 Deadly Sins tag, which I'm not prepared for at all, so let's see how this goes. So the first deadly sin is greed, and that is what is your most expensive book and your least expensive book, and I'm gonna have to look. I'm not counting review books because they're free and I have too many of them to be like just picking one. So I'd say my most expensive book was Elysium by Veronica Roth, and that is because I got the American edition. So I bought it on eBay so I could have this American edition, and yes, my copy is proper water damaged. It is awful, but I don't really like this book, so it doesn't bother me that it's water damaged. It did at the time when I was reading it. But yeah, I bought this. It was probably about £15, which isn't overly expensive. I don't spend a lot of books. I don't spend a lot of money on one single book. I spend a lot of money on books, but I don't spend a lot of money on one book. I will not pay like 25 quid for a book. I just wouldn't. I don't know why. So yeah, this is probably my most expensive book. And I didn't really know for my least expensive book, so I just chose The Secret Hour by Scott Westerfeld. It says on here that it was $150, but I traded some books in to get this one, so it was technically just free. So yeah, I chose this one. This one's hard. This one is Wrath, and it's which author do you have a love-hate relationship with? And I'm not sure at all. Okay, I've made my choice. Alexandra Bracken. Just because I love her books so much, but I hate that they make me cry so much. I cried more at this book than at The Fault in Our Stars, which is saying something, but I love this book. I love them so much, they just make me cry, which upsets me. So, that's my love-hate relationship. This is, the next sin is I can't say gluttony. Oh, I said it! Gluttony. Okay, and that is a book that you devoured with no shame. And that, okay, for this one I choose Ella and Happily Ever After because I finished this in one day and I loved it so much. And I just kind of got it in the post and went, I'm going to read it all at once, and just did. And it was adorable and amazing. And I have a review of this. I'll link it down below. The next one is Sloth, and that is which book have you neglected because of laziness. And before now I would have said Game of Thrones, but I've read Game of Thrones now. So for this I'm going to choose Day of the Triffids by John Wyman, because I'm really scared that this is, because it's a classic, it's going to be really slow. And even though it's only 230 pages, I'm afraid that I'm going to take like forever to read this, even though it's a really small book. So I suppose I've been putting this one off. I've had it quite a while. I think I've had it nearly over a year probably now. Pride and I had a very definite answer for this, and that is, what book do you talk about just so you can sound intelligent? And I'd say The Great Gatsby, because I do feel like I have really interesting opinions on this. Also Fahrenheit 451, but I don't have that. Even though it's a really short book, I really enjoyed it, and I feel like I do have I can talk about it quite well, even though I've never studied it in class. I'm also quite proud that this is a classic that is quite short. It's really short, but it's also quite hard to read, and it's a classic that I read on my own and really had those in-depth thoughts that I have in an English class, with it on my own, so I was quite proud of myself for that. Also, I think this is on my university syllabus, which makes me so happy. The next is Lust, and that is what attributes do you find attractive in male or female characters? And I find Liamness attractive. Also Warnerness. These two characters, if you are anything like these two characters, I find you attractive. That's all. But female characters, I find it really good in books if they don't whine, or if they whine but they own it. So I like it if they're themselves and they don't try to be different because of men's point of view. I really like that. Also if they can kick ass as much as a man and don't take any grief off him. This one's Envy, and this is, which book would you most like to receive as a gift? I don't know. At the moment, either Blood of Olympus because I don't have that yet and I need it in the US edition because I have all the others in the US edition, or the Game of Thrones box set. Those two sound good. Yeah, so those two would be good. Okay, so I tag Book Loving Jazz, Books with M's, Megan Olivier and Sarah Churchill if they haven't done it. If you've done it, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So yeah, that was the 7 Deadly Sins tag, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.